So as you can see, my first and second values are 3 characters long, rest every value is 4 characters long. So whatever input I had given, my input is having the fault. So this is how you do a dry run. Whenever you create a script while testing, you just don't directly show it to the client. You initially create the script, you have different values, you do a dry run whether the script is working fine for some certain values, and then if the script is working fine, you finalize it. So as you can see, it's 3 characters long, so it is not taking the value. So we'll fix this by giving the proper input data. The input data is not proper, Jimmy, and I'll make this Tommy. So now let's see what happens when we run. So I'll show you in debug mode so that you can easily see it, and I want you to do it from your side as well. I will just take QTP to the left so that you can see what's happening with my AUT, and I will run step by step. Now first step, I am setting the data table value to 1. Next step, I am taking the row count. So my row count value will have value 7. Now the script is entering into for loop. It will add the first name, that is Jimmy. It will add the password. Click on OK button. It will set the data table to the next value. It will the pointer to the next value. Now it has opened the window. We don't want this window currently, so we are closing it. And then we'll open the application again, and the script moves to the next. The loop moves to the next value. Now again QTP will try to add the new value, that is Tommy. So as you can see, the script is working fine as expected. So I'll click on run button now so that all the values could be input. So as you can see, when I'm running the script, I'm watching that all my values are getting input and everything is working fine. So there's no issue with the script, and there's no issue with the input data, and the application is working without any error. So till now we saw a few of the functionalities such as data table, parameterizing, then datatable.set current row, datatable.get row count, and datatable.set next row. Now suppose I am creating a new column called as result, and I want to store my result. That is, if I could log in successfully, I want to store the result over here, and if I'm not able to log in successfully, I have to store some result, pass, fail, something like that. Okay. So what I'll do is, like we fetched value from QTP, from data table to the script, we can also input the value from the script to my data table, back to data table. So in this way we can this way the communication between data table and the script takes place. So let's see how. So inside the loop itself, suppose we'll add a line of code wherein we'll verify whether if the functionality is working fine. If user could log in successfully, we'll throw some message. Okay. So what happens when user could log in successfully? So as you can see, when user logs in successfully, this window opens. So suppose if I put some logical code over here, wherein if this window is existing, then I am logged in successfully. Then I can throw that value back to the Excel sheet, data table. So what I'll do is, we saw loop statements. Now I'll show you the conditional statement, which is if. So when you click on if, when you type if and press spacebar, there is a default code that is generated. If, then, and end if. So let's see what it does. So it's simply logic. So as I type and as I speak, you just make a note of it, how things work. So if I'm adding Jimmy as my agent name and password as Mercury, okay, I'm adding this, and if my, when on clicking OK, if my flight reservation window opens, that means I am logged successfully. Okay, so that is the logic. If my flight, if my credentials work perfectly, I'll be logged into flight reservation window. So it should come after dialog.win button dot click OK. So after I click OK button, I have to write this code. So if this window exists, then I am logged in successfully, right? So what I'll do is, I'll just add the object of this window to my object repository. This is my flight reservation window. I'll use the selected object only. Okay. When I drag it over here, you'll see this window. Now if you see window dot, when I put a period over here, there are certain operations which could be performed with the window. So when I go down, I'll see exist operation. So what I'll do is, I'll put this code in if. So what it says is, if my flight reservation window exists, then I am logged in successfully, right? So in my inside, what I'll write is print. Suppose I am printing pass. Okay. Else is you're not logged in successfully, so I'll print fail. Okay. So what this logic, this conditional statement if says that if this window exists, then I'm printing pass, else I'm printing fail. Else says that this window doesn't exist, that is, user could not log in successfully, maybe because he has added only 3 characters in the agent name, and as you know, that agent name has to be at least 4 characters long, so it's not able to log in successfully. So as you can see, when I run this code, it will simply print the values inside the if. So it will, as you can see, it is waiting for the flight reservation window to open, and once it opens, it will execute the pass statement. I'll just stop the script in between, and when I look at the print log, you can see pass everywhere, right? So this means that QTP could successfully open the value for open the login for different values. Now the same thing I want it, instead of QTP's print log, I want this same thing inside my results tab, that is the results column. So what will I do?